This week's episode of Silic Lee Show is proudly sponsored by Lantern Ghost Tours and our major series sponsor, Sport First, First for Sport. Listen to them, the children of the night. What music they make.
Are you referring to our audience, Dave?
Yes, I'm talking about the audience. It was a bit of a quote from Dracula there. Thought it'd be a good, fitting opening for our spooky ghost special tonight, Josh.
I would have gone with a quote from Scooby-Doo, but whatever.
Well, that's you, isn't it? So anyway, guys, welcome to the Silic Lee Show Ghost Tour special. We had quite an interesting and spooky week, didn't we, Josh? And we got a whole lot to get through. So let's get right into it. As we said, we had a bit of a spooky week this week, didn't we?
Oh, Dave, every week with you is a spooky week. But this week was special. We need to cross over to Georgie and find out exactly what's going on. Georgie?
Let's get into it. What's up tonight, Georgie?
Tonight on the Silic Lee Show, it's a very spooky ghost tour special showcasing Dave and Josh's trip to Williamstown to take part in a nighttime Ghosts of the Old City tour. They are also joined in studio by Ross, tonight's very special co-host, or should I say co-ghost. Boys, why do you keep making me say these awful lines?
Georgie, we make you say them so that we don't have to.
That's right, Georgie. Why do you think we hired you?
Yeah. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Georgie. Now, man, we got a bit of a fast-paced show tonight because we've got so much for these guys to have a look at. So I reckon we get our co-ghost Ross out here straight away. What do you reckon?
Well, it's in the script, so we might as well. Let's please make him very welcome, the magnificent Ross Daniels.
Here he is. How you doing?
Good.
Welcome to the show.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good to be here.
Spooky set here.
Yeah, it's very spooky. Thank you. Look at that. It's just like home.
Authentic.
That's great. Yeah.
Now, Georgie mentioned during the week we went to Williamstown on a spooky ghost tour. You were our co-ghost.
Yeah. Nice.
Not co-ghost, our ghost tour. This was our tour guide, Dave.
Yes.
Yeah, it was quite spooky that night, wasn't it? I mean, the tours, I've been doing them for a while now, and I reckon about half the time something strange will happen. It's surprising how people actually turn up and you expect to see ghosts every time. Like, oh, how many ghosts will we see tonight? And I go, well, were they rostered on with me? I'm not sure, maybe. But you guys were quivering in your boots, Dave. I don't want to single you out, but...
Well, we'll get to that later. But for now, basically on our show, normally our video packages and stuff will go for about 4 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We'll have different videos and stuff throughout the show. But when we did the tour, we got so much fantastic stuff that we have split it, not over one, not over two, but all 3 segments of our show.
All right.
Created a special out of it.
It was a special night.
It was a special night.
Well, you haven't seen the edited tour yet.
No.
But look, we just wanted to ask you, does this stuff usually happen on your tours, or were we a special
Look, as I
group?
was saying, spooky stuff does happen, but it did seem to really spike the night you were there. We had the EMFs, the electromagnetic field detectors, and we came to you guys, and look, I don't always use those, can be hit and miss. Yeah, you give them a big build-up, nothing happens, we go, oh, ghosts aren't real, and you find out the batteries were flat. But you guys, man, they were like singing to each other.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff.
I love Dave.
And I reckon with that, it's time to throw into the first part. So hold on to your seat, guys. It's about to get spooky. Williamstown, a beautiful sunny place surrounded by sparkling water and bustling with life. Until the sun goes down and the ghosts of Old King Williamstown come out to haunt the original capital of Victoria. Out past Melbourne's CBD along the docks, we joined up with a keen group of ghost hunters, led by ghost host Ross and paranormal investigator Jackie, for a spooky tour of Victoria's most historic seaport.
Just a show of hands, who does believe in ghosts? Got a fair few, most of you. No, that's cool. We have believers, non-believers, and everyone's welcome.
So we have people experienced things on this tour before? What are we expecting? What are we in for?
It's hard to say. A number of different things. Most people, if you leave yourself open, you will experience something tonight. I can tell you that much. Sometimes we've had big, weird, loud sounds. We've actually reckoned the area is haunted with little kids. One of the big casualties 100 years or so ago were kids because of malnutrition and various other things. A lot of drownings around the area. People reckon they feel their sleeves being pulled sometimes, especially in one of the places we're going.
I don't like that. No, that's the worst. Little ghosts.
You might see some of the things I'm talking about tonight, or hear them.
I'm not sure if I want that. I think we do. I think we're ready.
You cool? Shall we get underway?
Let's do it.
And just as we were beginning our tour, we had our first experience with the unexplainable.
That's a electromagnetic field detector, so things like microwaves or mobile phones can send them off. But if there's nothing like that around and there's big peaks, it means something paranormal is probably trying to manifest. They manipulate the electromagnetic fields in the air.
Holy,
What the hell is going on? If you're a child, can you beat faster? Faster, faster? Oh my god! Thank you.
I'm off, guys. See you later. I'm going home.
They're both going off. Thank you. You can follow us tonight if you like. Could you stop now and join us later?
If you could follow the black-haired kid with the big bushy eyebrows, that would help.
Please don't. Please, if you see the black-haired kid with the big bushy eyebrows, please don't follow him.
What is going on?
Oh my goodness.
What does it mean if they're in sync?
It means there's definitely something here. So it's not a malfunction of one of them. And they're slowing down now.
Maybe they had
They
their
must
own
be
show.
leaving.
They
They
had
must
their
be
own
going. Thank you. Hopefully they'll follow us tonight.
I hope so.
All right, as long as they're nice to us.
I've got a nice spooky alleyway that we can walk up.
Let's go for it. Let's
do that.
go.
And so we began our spooky night, travelling into the deep unknown of one of Victoria's very first settlements. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling okay. They seem to be nice ghosts.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be, they seem to be good guys.
Yeah. Ghost twigs.
We sometimes pick up attachments here too. Do you know about attachments?
No, I don't.
That's when a entity sticks with you and follows you around. This is a bit of a hotspot
For how long?
Sometimes it's part of the tour, sometimes they can follow you home. The good news is, if they do follow you home, contact us at Lamp Tours and Jackie will take care of it for you.
We have a large fisherman who seems to haunt this area and he follows ladies. We've had people follow the entire tour before and they smell a really awful smell of BO and salt water and fish usually. So if you smell that smell, you've probably got the fisherman behind you. All right, we're going to go on to our next haunted destination now if you're ready.
Excellent, sounds good.
Cool. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Titanic. Come if you dare.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Oh, there you
You're going to die anyway.
You're
Welcome
ladies.
aboard, come through.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, mate.
Come through.
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, the guys, we're inside the old Titanic Theatre restaurant. The only venue in town with your nice guaranteed when you disaster. Used to be the Prince of Wales Hotel, which was the most popular pub in town in the late 1800s. It's supposed to be very, very haunted. But it's the Titanic now. And we're going to take you back to the days of the Titanic right now.
We're going to go down to Silic, so hang on. Made it. You're ready. Stand back.
Oops, stand back.
Welcome to Steerage, where all the Irish immigrants unfortunately died. Jump ahead, Cat.
So down we went, into the depths of the old wreck of the RMS Titanic. Well, the theatre restaurant version anyway, where old resident publican Dave regaled us with his ghostly experiences within.
Just to give you some ideas of my experience, I've been here since Christmas, and I have a number of people who live here as well, my son and a couple other people. The one thing that really stands out in my mind, I was walking past that door, looking across there in a similar light, and there's a captain standing there like this. It was just a profile of this guy, captain's hat on, big, and as I swear, standing here, he stood there and then just looked around to me, looked back at me. The only other experience I've had is being woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a baby crying.
Oh, no.
As true as I sit here,
No, no.
it went for about half an hour crying. So that's my experience, but I've only been here since Christmas, so.
How can you still live here when that happens?
I drink a lot.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
I do know of another really spooky confined space we can go to though. Should we go there?
Let's go there, why not?
Let's do it.
After the break, we visit the historic Time Ball Tower and get the fright of our lives. And later, Josh tests out some divining rods in Victoria's first morgue. Welcome back to the Silic Lee Show Ghost Tour special. We're of course joined on the couch here with our special co-ghost for the night, Ross Daniels, who, if you've just joined us, was our tour guide and ghost host for the ghost tour we recently took in Williamstown.
That's right. We also have our news girl Georgie with us, as always. Georgie, how you feeling? You feeling a bit scared yet?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay, thanks boys. A little scared so far, but just hanging in there.
Just hanging in there, that's good to hear, Georgie. There were a few creepy bits in that last segment, Ross.
Yeah, and it got a lot creepier later too, didn't it?
It did get a lot creepier. It did, yes.
We have to keep watching as Dave continues in his quest to pick up a paranormal girlfriend.
I cut that stuff out of the package.
Hey.
We experienced a lot of weird stuff in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
You did mention before that we kind of had a little bit more paranormal activity than usual.
Yes.
But in such a short amount, that was only the first part of the tour. That just shows you how much stuff was happening on the night.
It's a wild old place. It was off the back of the gold rush there. It was a very, very busy place and there was a lot of money. There were a lot of pubs operating there. There was about 30 pubs at its peak back in the 1800s. So there was a lot of drinking going on. There was a lot of crime and a lot of death. Yes. So I think that probably contributes to why it's such a high density ghost area.
I think it was
for sure. Now, Ross, you mentioned in the last package that people can be followed home. I think Jackie, our paranormal investigator, actually went and cleansed one of our the crew members' cars.
She did,
Yes, someone was saying that they felt...
there was someone apparently being followed home. One of our crew members had been followed home by a little girl or something who was after her mother.
Yeah, right. And depending on how old that kid was, you need a ghost baby seat for them as well, too, don't you? If you're going to get them home. So that's that was spooky, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how often would you get a call back from someone saying?
We hear. Well, I don't know what the statistics are. I don't work in the office, but they have it. I'd say probably once every 6 weeks or so. Someone seems to complain that they'll get home and they'll feel like that there's something or someone in the house with them. A couple of occasions it was me, okay, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, well, we had a light flick on in the car on the way home.
Oh, really?
We did, and we freaked out. He was in the back, I was in the front. He goes, "Dave, this light's just turned on." I've gone, "Just ignore it. Just turn it back off, and just ignore it." But I think with that, it's time to go off to our second part of the tour, Ross. Where are we picking up from now, Ross?
I think we're about to go into the Time Ball Tower.
Yeah. Well, it was a fright.
It was.
I actually have Dave's underwear here to prove it. Come on, man.
I think with that,
That is frightening.
Keep your granny panties on.
I think with that, we are going to go to the pre-record.
Happen to know what this is by any chance, guys?
This is a lighthouse.
It is very good.
Yes.
It was actually used for synchronising back in the late 1800s, etc., when the seamen were out at sea. And the way they synchronised all their clocks was about 1 p.m. every day. The lighthouse, or the Time Ball Tower keeper, rather would fire off a round, and all the ships out on the bay would look up and they'd lower the ball down, and as it hit the floor, that meant it was exactly 1 p.m.
Wow.
It was also used as a lookout tower because around here was a bit of a convict settlement. As well, and some really heavy stuff has gone down in there, and it's supposed to be extremely haunted. Okay. And guess what?
We're going in?
I've got the keys. We're going inside.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's do it then.
All right.
Thank you, mate.
Down we went into the old Time Ball Tower, not quite prepared for what or who we were about to encounter.
Are we climbing up this bad boy? Oh, we're going to tell you a story
We
down
don't
here.
normally, but we could maybe send someone up.
Dave.
All in favour of Dave, say aye.
Aye.
I'll give you. I'll give you some background to the area first before you might change your mind about whether you go up. This place, this tower, as it was, is apparently haunted by a guy called John Price. He's from Cornwall in England. But he was actually a really nasty guy. He used to see the convicts. They used to have a big a bunch of ships out there called hulks, convict hulks. I don't know if you heard about those. It's like floating prisons basically, and all the guys would sleep out there overnight, and then they would row them in the morning. So anyway, they'd come over and they'd work on a quarry just over here. What is now Jellybrand Park. There's a big quarry. They'd come over and work, and they'd be overseen by this guy, John Price. And he was really nasty. He was working at a penal settlement in Tasmania before he came over here. And he was nasty. He was a real sadist. He'd do things like just whip the prisoners for no reason whatsoever. And then what he'd do sometimes, if he really didn't like a prisoner, he'd put a straitjacket on them, lie them down on their backs so they'd get really bad infections and gangrene. Just for his own amusement. One day he was up there, he was looking over the quarry, and a bunch of prisoners in shackles down here were having an argument, and that kind of got him angry, but it was a trap, see. He should have taken a guard with him, but he ran down to tell them off. When he got down there, one of them threw a rock at him. Didn't hit him, but he slipped in the gravel, trying to dodge it, lost his balance, they grabbed him, dragged him down the quarry, just beat him up with stones and tools. It was an absolute mess, barely recognisable, just lying there in a pool of blood, and a couple of doctors, one guy called Edward Garland Fig and another doctor, they brought him back here. Then they had a discussion about whether they should operate on him or not, because back in those days, if you operate on someone and they didn't live, it's bad for your reputation. So they went, no, let's not operate on him. And they just left him here. Took him a day to die. But he is here.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going up there.
No, I think you should, Dave.
Jackie, what have people experienced in here?
Well, we were actually running a paranormal investigation one evening, group about this size, and all of a sudden we saw a face peering down at us. It looked like a flock of red hair and a monocle, which matches the description of John Price. I freaked out, I ran out, followed closely by my two paranormal investigators, and the rest of the group were just standing there saying, oh my God, why have the guides gone? So that was pretty scary. We've heard unexplained tapping as well. And footsteps, as if someone's walking up to the top. Sometimes you can hear singing in here. It sounds like a female singing. I can't hear it tonight.
So could that be like his wife or?
Well, there were actually two custodians who were
Shit.
Oh my God.
Hello?
Was that you, John? Can you give us a sign? Can you do it again?
It was a loud bang.
All right, let's get out of here, I think.
Was the door closed?
Do you want to go up there?
No.
Go up there.
Sorry.
I think that's an omen not to go up, that banging.
I think
Is there
that.
anyone... John, can you give us a sign?
All right, well, now that I'm out, I'm not going back in there.
Mate.
Sorry, I just
Holy crap.
No, I was a bit slow.
You gotta go up.
I'm not going up.
There was no one when I peeked out.
That is. So there was no one here when you came out?
No,
No one.
absolutely.
Oh my God. Yeah, see you, John. Sorry, I'm not coming up to visit you. No,
Don't want to do that?
No, I'm not.
Too scared.
After the break, we head to Victoria's first morgue and conjure up the spirits within.
Welcome back to the Silic Lee Show. If you've just joined us, Dave and Josh headed out on a nighttime ghost tour in Williamstown with myself earlier this week. We've visited some frightening places in the show so far, but it's time for my favorite part of the tour, which just so happened to be the boys' least favorite part. It's time to enter the Old Williamstown morgue.
And so, as the night went on, so did the tour, as we continued forward onto the most haunted spot of the night.
I did. I'm wearing it. I've got spares. So I'm alright.
Yeah, need them.
I'm not going to change you later though.
Okay, guys, well, here it is, the place that everyone's dying to get into. Williamstown Morgue. First morgue and therefore oldest morgue in all of Victoria. Now, I've got to warn everyone, sounds a bit dramatic. This is real. We have to warn people, don't we, Jackie, before they go in here. People often suffer anxiety attacks. So if you have like respiratory problems or if you're pregnant, maybe don't come in.
No, people get shortness of breath.
Really?
They feel as if they're being squashed as well. And a lot of people, especially mothers, get overcome with emotion. They get very sad. There's a lot of children who are processed through this old morgue. So a lot of people do feel very upset. If you get upset or feel faint when you're in the morgue, please just come outside. outside and get some fresh air, because we have had a few accidents.
Shall we go in on that
I
note?
don't know.
You're dying to get in there, come on.
This is the least.
Just watch that.
It's the part I was the least looking forward to. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in either.
They were lying, it's an outhouse, man. Let's go.
Oh, why? Why? Oh, why have you set it up like this? Why have you designed it like this?
This is pretty much how it would have been. There would have been hundreds, it would have crammed in hundreds of bodies. There's a lot of people dying, there's a lot of plague. You know, bubonic plague, scarlet fever, yellow fever, etc. A lot of that coming in off the ships. A lot of bad hygiene, a lot of disease, a lot of violence, a lot of violent crime. It's just the door. God, go into fright. This was originally much closer to the sea, and that's how they clear it out at the end of the day. Well, hopefully at the end of the day. When the high tide would come in, it would come in through those vents, the water, and it kind of washed the human remains away.
Fuck. I knew he was there, but he still got me. Fucking hell. That's not funny. No, I don't. Hi, Andrew. Hey,
Well, have you know, we don't normally do kind of
Yeah.
coming out on our tours. That was especially if you
Yeah. Excellent, thank you.
Having said that, it is supposed to be pretty awesome. Yeah, it's supposed to be a lot of various different spirits. People reckon they've seen a rabbi walking around here late at night, blessing the building.
A lot of people also feel the sensation of children trying to hold their hands. It's very common, especially again with women. They feel little fingers around their hands, or sometimes just a cold sensation, or sometimes even wind just going around their legs, sort of darting through the crowd as if there's children playing.
And is this on the corner over here?
Oh, okay. I don't like that.
I had a tour here one night.
As much as we wanted to get home to our nice, warm, safe beds, before we had a chance to leave, Ross had one final trick hidden up his sleeve. A divination session to help us communicate with the spirits of the old morgue.
To do so, we were given a pair of divining rods, a tool which, not unlike the EMFs, uses an electromagnetic field to contact the unknown.
Okay, just as if you're talking to a person. If there's anyone here who'd like to talk to us, could you please cross the rods? Keep crossing the rods. Keep crossing. Cross further. And show us that you want to talk to us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you.
I'm not moving.
And point the rods to where you're standing.
It could be Alice there.
Oh, no. How are you feeling, Joe?
Are you warm now?
Oh my god. Oh,
All that energy that
that's each one's pointing at the cameras. They're both pointing at the cameras.
Do you like us being here? Cross the rods if you like us being here.
Okay, that.
Cross the rods if you'd like us to go.
That's my cue to go. I've been waiting for one.
It's an awful taste in here. I don't have anyone. Cross the rods if you're making us feel sick.
Theatre restaurant just down the road.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No way. It's guiding us to the pamphlets. Oh, jeez.
I
So do I.
have kept the same movement.
I had, yeah,
Like,
in the throat.
my arms are reached in there.
So I don't
So it's
Yeah,
only
no.
like this.
Can I have a hands
See, I can't move.
up? Who's feeling sick? We're all feeling nauseous. Most of us feeling nauseous.
All right, I think it's time to leave this place.
it's time to
So, guys, everyone, since that's beeping so much, yeah, and because we're all feeling so ill, and that's beeping, and you're diviners are going wild. That's probably our cue to get out.
I think so.
Shall we get out?
I think
That's
we should
officially
get
the
out.
end of our tour. I hope you've enjoyed
I have
yourself
enjoyed it.
in a spooky kind of way. At Land and Ghost Tours, we've got plenty more. You have to come on one of our other ones sometime.
Oh, if you can drag us along, I think it would be fun, yes.
If you've enjoyed the tour, I'm Ross. This is Jackie. If not, I'm Margaret, and this is free.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ross.
So much.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
And hopefully nothing follows you home.
Thank you.
So, boys, you look like you had fun in there.
Oh, it was frightening, wasn't it? But I'm just really impressed with how calm and brave Dave was.
Yeah.
I will admit, I hated the morgue. I absolutely hated that place. There was a point at the end.
Yeah.
I looked over to you and Jackie. Jackie goes, and then you, and suddenly I felt, this is no joke, you're going to laugh at me, but I felt like this strangling sensation in my neck. It was like my throat was closing up, and I was just like, I had to get out of there. It was terrible.
That was weird. I mean, you could say it was power of suggestion. I've never had that so much. People have come in there, like guests say they have felt that way, but I've never had it myself. But we all had it that time. I don't know what it was, but yeah.
I think it was Casper giving you a hickey, man. That seems to work. But look, in all fairness, it was unpleasant. Even though seeing Dave struggle was a constant reminder of all the joy that still existed in the outside world.
In all fairness, look, everyone absolutely hated that morgue. We had my 16-year-old cousin Emily along with us, and I thought she was going to be like so scared all night that, you know, she'd be like hanging off my arm all night and you know, all that stuff.
And in the end, he was hiding behind her.
Yeah.
Well, that's beside the point. But she said to me at the end of the tour, she was absolutely fine with everything except for the morgue. The morgue was just too much, and I think that was the general consensus with nearly everyone that was on the tour. Is the morgue the worst place you take people to go? You said to us at one point, this is our PG-rated tour. How worse can it get?
They get pretty scary. There's a couple of tours that are pretty good. We go to the old Altona homestead. That's pretty scary. But even scarier than that, I reckon, is the old mental asylum in Ararat. And you can actually do a weekend tour and you can sleep in the cells overnight. Would you like to do that one, Dave?
Let's do that, buddy.
I would love to do that, Ross.
Yeah, you can be like my sidekick. You can come
yeah.
and help me. We'll stay there for ages.
All right, so you can leave me. I'll take the show. Be Silic and Lee.
Well, in that case,
Look, we'd love to join you one day on one of those tours.
Cool.
Not sure that he would, but we would. If anyone out there would like to get details on how they can join Ross, the details will be on our Facebook page, I think.
that's right, they will be on the Facebook page. So thanks for joining us tonight, Ross. You've been absolutely fantastic.
My pleasure, guys.
Thank
Happy
you.
haunting.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yes.
And big thanks to Georgie for joining us as always, if she's still with us. Georgie.
Are you there?
Still here, guys. Thanks. Just checking that no ghosts are going to follow me home. Enjoy your night.
Thanks, Georgie. And thanks, everyone, for watching. Of course, during the week, head on over to our Facebook page, give us a like, follow us on Twitter, check us out on YouTube because we've got exclusive videos on there, all our past shows. We've got an exclusive video from this week, Williamstown tour of the old Williamstown opium dens that we couldn't fit into tonight's show. Some weird things went on down in there as well.
More of Dave shitting himself. It's awesome.
It is. So have a good night, guys. We'll see you later.
See you guys. The Silic Lee Show would like to thank this week's sponsor, Lantern Ghost Tours, and our major series sponsor, Sport First, First for Sport.